That's good. Hi, everyone. Okay, so we're on the test review. We have these two little examples to do. It's not hard. I actually really enjoy it, but it just didn't quite fit in any of our notes anywhere. Okay, so suppose a polynomial function has roots of x equals -1 and x equals 2i. So they're giving us the answers already, and we're going to work backwards. Okay, what type of function is h? Watch, I'll show you. This is going to look funny at first, okay? H is a cubic function. H is a cubic function because it has 3 roots. And you go, silly Miss Keener, they only gave us 2 roots, right? All imaginary roots come in partners. They always come in buddies, because when you take the square root, what do we always put in front of that square root? The plus or minus. So when this says x equals 2i, guess what? There's another one. And what would the other one be? X also equals -2i. Okay? Not all roots, only imaginary roots. Imaginary roots always, I want to say, have a buddy. I don't think that's ever written in a math book, though. Always have a, how about we call it a plus or minus partner? There actually is a word. It's called the conjugate. We did that in the other video notes. J or G? J. Okay. Conjugate. So even though they only told you one, they're not, it's not a secret. They were just saying, be ready for the other one. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to take these roots and we're going to write our own equation. This will be fun. So watch. H of x equals, okay, if it has 3 roots, then it has 3 factors. You agree? Yeah, 3 roots, 3 factors. If x equals -1 is one of the roots, what will this first what factor did that come from? X plus 1, right? Okay. What about this x equals 2i? Well, we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to say x minus 2i, and then x plus 2i. So next step is we're going to multiply this all out. Okay. Have you ever seen a polynomial at the very beginning with i's in it? No. So what's going to happen when we multiply it all out? The i's are going to go away. Okay. That's how you know you did it right. Let's not touch the x plus 1. Let's save that. Okay. So let's save that. And let's FOIL out these 2 factors here. You ready? Get set. Here we go. X times x, x squared, x times positive 2i, positive 2ix, and then the inner here would be minus 2ix, and then the last, okay, watch this. We have -2 times positive 2. What's that going to be? -4. And then I times I is I squared. So what did we just do there? We did first, outer, inner, last. Okay, we FOILed it to get this. All right, x plus 1, x squared. What happens to these 2 middle terms? Yeah, they cancel out. We have a positive 2ix and a negative 2ix, which is 0. Now, every time, you need to remember this, every time you see an I squared will always equal Do you know? If I equals the square root of -1, and you were to square both sides, the square would cancel the square root, and you would be left with what's inside. So I squared is equal to what? -1. So every time you see an I squared, you're going to substitute it for -1. So we actually have, -4 times -1. Well, what's that going to do to our 4? Yeah, it's going to make it positive. So we have x squared plus 4. All right. Can we multiply those two now? Yeah, so that's what we're going to do now. Now we're going to FOIL. We'll FOIL these two and we'll have our polynomial. So first, outer, inner, and last. Now it's not quite in order, so let's just write the final answer off to the side here. X cubed plus 4x plus x squared plus 4. What did I do? I just rewrote the same thing. That's okay. That's why we use erasers. Okay. And then you could answer questions about that, right? You could say, oh, it's a positive cubic, and what's the y-intercept? 4, all right? Good? Okay, let's do another one. Example B. Suppose a polynomial function, g, has roots of x equals 1, which has a multiplicity of 2. What does that mean? It bounces, but then it means that it's a factor twice, okay? And x equals 3 plus I. Okay, so what type of function is g? Well, if this has a multiplicity of 2, but then what do we know about the imaginary numbers? What they come in pairs, okay? The other one's going to be, watch, 3 minus I. Only the I becomes negative. Because think the I came from that square root and the 3 was in front. Okay, so how many imaginary roots do we have? 2, and then this one has a multiplicity of 2. So 2 plus 2 equals 4 today. So G must be a quartic. Okay, G is a quartic. So, you ready? Let's go. How do we get these factors? Do you remember? So if x equals 1, what's our factor going to be? X minus 1. But it has a multiplicity of 2, which means what? It appears twice. I'm not even going to square it. I'm just going to write it twice, because if I square it, I might distribute it wrong, you know? So I'm going to write it twice. All right, and then, okay, so here we are. We have x minus that factor, and then do x minus this factor. Okay, so here we are. This is going to be fun. Are you ready? We're going to FOIL this first. So we have x squared minus x plus 1. And I'm just going to simplify that now because the next part's going to get really crazy. All right, now we're going to do x times x is x squared. X times this is minus x, 3 minus I. And then this is also minus x, but it's 3 plus I. Oops, I need a plus sign here. And then I have a negative times a negative is a positive, but I have 3 plus I times 3 minus I. Well, isn't this fun? I'm going to distribute this stuff in the middle, and then we're going to FOIL this over here, and we're going to see what happens. So minus 3x plus xi minus 3x minus xi. So I'm distributing this. And then this we need to FOIL. So 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times negative I is minus 3i. The inside is plus 3i, and then we have minus I squared. Wow! Now we're going to simplify. X squared, that's the only x squared I see. Okay. Minus 3x and minus 3x is going to give us minus 6x. Then we have a plus xi and a minus xi. So those are going to cancel. You agree? Cancel. Plus 9. What happens to these 3 i's? They cancel also. And every I squared becomes a negative 1. So what's a negative 1? Negative 1, don't worry about all this on the bottom, is a positive 1. So then we have 9 plus 1. Okay. X squared minus 2x plus 1. X squared minus 6x plus 10. Sorry about this mess. So to find the final answer from here, you would multiply this trinomial times this trinomial. Okay? And that would be your final answer, and it should be a quartic, which is what we said at the beginning. So I'm not going to do it on the video. You guys are going to practice how do you multiply a trinomial by a trinomial. You can do it. Good luck.